So you're rolling along in the grocery store when all of a sudden someone comes up and offers to sell you their EBT card. Yeah, see, it's got $100 worth of groceries on it, but all you have to pay is $50 because they'd rather have the cash. That's just one of the types of public assistance frauds the folks in Rockingham County have uncovered. And now they're launching a new task force to help fight fraud where you live, too.
I'm going to call the meeting to order.
It might not look sexy.
This was the first meeting of the Committee to Eliminate System Fraud.
But the group at this table could help save the country hundreds of millions of dollars. They're putting together a presentation to show other lawmakers how Rockingham County has recouped more than $700,000 from people committing public assistance fraud. All that money in just the last year and a half.
We're even going to send it to President Trump. We're going to say, look, if little old Rockingham County can do this much, then just imagine what you can do nationwide if you start holding people accountable.
It started when the county hired an undercover investigator and set up an anonymous public tip line where you can report someone who might be abusing benefits.
When you're ripping off the system to benefit you, you're stealing from the taxpayers, and that's wrong, and that needs to stop. Because I tell everybody, if I can keep these people from stealing from you, then that means I got more money to benefit those that really need the help.
Although EBT fraud still happens too much, the USDA estimates it's decreasing. In 1993, the agency thought 4 cents of every dollar in benefits was misused. The latest estimates dropped that to 1 single penny. Still enough to bug the folks in this room.
I hope we can really put the word out there on exactly what's going on in Rockingham County, because we're doing some amazing things here.
The group hopes to have the report complete within 9 months to a year. Now, it's also going to include all the tricks and tips the investigators have learned about red flags someone is committing fraud. From saving tax dollars to keeping more money in your own wallet. The cost of groceries can add up fast. We all know that, especially if you're trying to eat healthy. You see, my trick is preparing meals like this for the whole week ahead of time. Tonight, I got some Brussels sprouts and sweet potato with sausage. Whole thing cost me $2.70 per meal. You also want to keep in mind shopping in-season produce will be cheaper and fresher. But if you decide you want those blueberries in winter anyway, well, save money and buy frozen instead. You can also buy organic without breaking the bank.
You can save money by buying store-brand organics and by getting them in bulk. In fact, some organics are actually cheaper than regular brands.
And just because something says healthy on it doesn't mean you should dish out extra cash. Instead of those buzzwords, I want you to look at the label for the ingredient list. Shorter ingredients like this pasta sauce mean the food can be more wholesome, and that's something you're going to want. Now, if you end up not eating the produce that week and it's a little past its prime, throw that stuff in the freezer. Consumer Reports says that bruised bananas and berries can make delicious smoothies or breads. I'll second that. Also, make a list before you go to the grocery store so you don't overbuy. Facebook's been working on cutting back on fake news in your feed. Now Google is cracking down on offensive content too. The change coming to your web browser next on 2 Wants to Know at 5:30. With one click, you can find just about anything you need on the internet these days. But how do you know if it's legit? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a giant red flag that just popped up warning you not to trust certain sites? 2 Wants to Know found Google's working on just that. So Google plans to flag anything deemed upsetting or offensive. We're talking content that promotes hate or violence against a specific group of people. The goal is to steer you away from those sites and away from fake news. So who decides what's offensive? Well, Google hired 10,000 quality raters to sift through content online. And here's how it's going to work. A quality rater would flag search results, say, from a white supremacist website, maybe Stormfront. That site claims the Holocaust never happened. Clearly, that's false information. But stuff about the Holocaust from the History Channel, well, that website would not be flagged. And if you open your browser right now, it is probably going to be to check the scores in the big tournament. We got you covered on WFNYnews2.com sports page right here. There's all the scores. And while you're there, I want you to surf over to WFNY.com/vote now. Tell us, what does your bracket look like right now? Is it busted? So far, most people are saying theirs is decent, but you can also say yours is great, not so great, or busted. We want to know, did you make one? how'd you turn out so far? Now, you can also vote on the News 2 app. Just click the Vote Now icon. And again, right now, most people doing pretty well, but it's not going to be long before all those are busted. And Quicken Loans has some tips on what you can do to put it all behind you. They say, first off, try to go see a movie. Yeah, that sounds fun. Plan a summer vacation, or just watch any other sport. If you're really heartbroken about it, turn off the basketball because there's plenty of other great action out there.
Well, I felt really bad. Really bad.
Schemers are trying to get you to break the law without you knowing. Plus, the average Android phone costs $276. You spend that kind of money, you want top quality. But your brand new phone might have come with malware already on it. Yep, Android users, listen up. We'll have how to protect yourself straight ahead. It is one knock you do not want at your door. Authorities telling you you committed a federal crime. But how? You haven't done anything wrong. At least that you knew of. You see, that's the thing with schemers. They're making work at home schemes sound so real, they're hard to detect. One man sent packages for over a year, only to find he became part of the scheme.
It seemed ideal to me to try to earn a little extra money. You know, I got quite a big family.
Gary thought extra money each month could help his family, so he looked for a part-time job he could do from home.
It looked pretty legit as far as this company is concerned.
He received packages, posted the items online, and got a cut from each sale. The rest was wired to his employer.
It worked pretty well. I was thinking I was doing an honest job.
Until he got a knock at the door from postal inspectors. They told him he was using counterfeit postage, a federal offense.
That was a complete shock. It turns out this company was not paying for the postage in some way or another. Well, I felt really bad. Really bad.
He sent more than 500 packages a year and believes the company was legit because of its efficient systems.
The criminal enterprise is becoming more and more organized and sophisticated to the level where they are actually running websites where these new reshippers will log into the website, and then they will see all the list of packages that they're expected to be getting in the next day or 2 days.
Gary was even getting paid. In most reshipping schemes, the victims never get paid.
In 26 years of being an inspector, I have not come across one single instance of a legitimate reshipping case. It doesn't happen.
So here's the takeaway for you. If you find a job you like online, do your homework, check with the BBB's website, and even with the State Attorney General office to see if there's any complaints about the company. When you buy a new phone, you don't expect it to have malware already on it. But that seems to be the case for some Android users. A tech company says its mobile threat prevention recently found malware pre-installed on 36 different types of Android phones. Yeah, how does that even happen? Well, the apps with the malware did not come from the vendor, but Check Point says they were added along the supply chain. Some of the phones infected were the Galaxy Note 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8.0. And I want you to get this, the malware, it can't be removed by you, the user, all of it. So to protect yourself, you have to download security apps that can identify and block the suspicious activity. Now you can also turn on Google's malware scanner, go into the settings, click on security, and then click on verify apps. Right now, the cause of the massive fire in downtown Raleigh is still a mystery. Last night, the apartment building that is still under construction caught fire. It's the largest fire in the city's history in 100 years. The 5-alarm fire damaged 10 buildings. Now that 5-alarm, you hear that term a lot, 2, 3 alarm. So we wanted to know, what does that really mean? 2 Months Know did some digging. Battalion Chief Daryl Sawyer in Winston-Salem told us each fire department has its own guidelines. In Winston-Salem, for example, anytime there's a residential fire, 28 personnel arrive on scene. For a second alarm fire, 2 more engines are called in, which gives you 8 additional people. But Sawyer says a 5-alarm fire usually means one thing for every department.
5-alarm fire, that pretty much means all hands on deck, as many people as we can get to rectify the situation. It was a pretty big fire.
Winston-Salem says if they have a multiple alarm fire, they have agreements with some surrounding departments in the county for help. I bet you've seen a lot of this today. Green socks, look up here, green tie. Well, St. Patrick's Day isn't just for wearing green, it's also for saving some green too. In fact, you can save on any holiday with a special internet trick if you know what to look for. Dealman Matt Granite shows you the ways to save. Speaking of wearing green, taking a selfie of you and your friends doing it could help charity.
It's just one of the interesting tidbits that 2 Wants to Know found out about St. Patrick's Day.
1 point, one lousy point. Yeah, I'm still a little upset my school, SMU, didn't pull through. And if you're like me, your bracket too probably busted already. Yeah, in fact, most people's brackets are already busted and shattered. You see, and last year, according to Yahoo Sports, 5 hours into the tournament, 94% of brackets were already busted. And by the end of the first day, 99.999% of the brackets were ruined. The same trend also held this year, with just about 100,000 perfect brackets remaining this morning, according to the NCAA. And the biggest drop came after 12-seed Middle Tennessee State took down 5th-seed Minnesota, 81-72. But don't feel too bad. You see, the NCAA says the longest they've seen a verified bracket stay perfect, 32 games, 2 games into the second round. And of course, there is always next year to try and pick up the pieces and do it again.